Some have a lot of money but still in need. Yeah. The time has come to help your hurting brother. Time has come to think about your sister. Can't turn a blind eye to their need. Yeah. Share some love to help your hurting brother. Share some love to help your fallen sister. One God, one faith, one destiny. Yeah, it's time for unity. Yeah, deception is tumbling down. Live in unity. Yeah, yeah. Division must be broken down. Unite in dignity. Yeah. United under God we stand. Unity is power for all. Everything around us is changing. Yeah. Nothing will ever be the same. Yeah. Limitless scope for transformation. Yeah. Yet no one has the answer for the pain. Yeah. Selfishness and greed have many blinded. Heartlessness has many people suffering. Why can't we see our brothers' pain? Yeah. Children are hungry and they are crying. Mothers are hurting and they are sighing. Yet all we care about is gain. Yeah. It's time for unity. Yeah. Deception is tumbling down. Live in unity. Yeah. Yeah. Division must be broken down. Unite in dignity. Yeah. United under God we stand. Unity is power for all. Time for unity. Yeah.
You have been watching the latest development, and you seem to be very unsure of what to do next. You know something is about to happen, but again, you simply keep watching without a clue as to what to do next. Wake up, my brothers and sisters. You must move now to save yourselves. You must move now to prepare yourselves for the peril ahead. To delay is to open yourself to serious trouble, and there will be no one to blame but you. Lifeline Financial Programs has always been telling you that things will get very serious very quickly if you do not move now to prepare for what is coming. Nothing will get better. We are on a downhill ride. You must get up and move now to save yourself. It is predicted that you will be having serious financial problems soon. Will you sit and wait until everything has crashed then say, if I had known? Find us today at Lifeline Financial Programs. We have the best plans to keep you alive during the trying times ahead. Mark my word. You will remember every word I say. Don't wait until everything has fallen apart and you are running around like a chicken without a head. Find us at Lifeline Financial Programs today. We will help you find a way. Call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvlimited@gmail.com.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
You have been watching the latest development, and you seem to be very unsure of what to do next. You know something is about to happen, but again, you simply keep watching without a clue as to what to do next. Wake up, my brothers and sisters. You must move now to save yourselves. You must move now to prepare yourselves for the peril ahead. To delay is to open yourself to serious trouble, and there will be no one to blame but you. Lifeline Financial Programs has always been telling you that things will get very serious very quickly if you do not move now to prepare for what is coming. Nothing will get better. We are on a downhill ride. You must get up and move now to save yourself. It is predicted that you will be having serious financial problems soon. Will you sit and wait until everything has crashed then say, "If I had known"? Find us today at Lifeline Financial Programs. We have the best plans to keep you alive during the trying times ahead. Mark my word. You will remember every word I say. Don't wait until everything has fallen apart and you are running around like a chicken without a head. Find us at Lifeline Financial Programs today. We will help you find a way. Call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvlimited@gmail.com.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
All right, good evening, and let me thank you so much for joining us again. Another Monday evening, right here on the Raw Truth, and of course, what a weekend it was. Quite a lot happening here. When the day is over, we simply just have to find a way to deal with what is happening across the world. I'm not sure how many of us have been watching what is happening across the world, but it becomes inevitable that we understand or overstand exactly what has been going on in relation to the latest developments across the world. Very, very, very interesting that we pay attention to what is going on. And it is nothing to take lightly. I think when you look at what has been developing up until now, when you look at what we have been seeing currently, when you look at the implications into the end of this year, early next year, it becomes a very serious matter as we watch with a bated breath to see exactly what might be happening or what might be developing into the end of this year, early next year. I think it is nothing to take lightly, and I think all of us, regardless of who we are and where we're from and all of that, we need to begin to take a very serious look at what we are about, how we prepare, what position we take in relation to preparing ourselves for what is coming. We really can't sit and pretend like all is well. And when the day is done, we're like children waiting on mommy and waiting on daddy to make the decisions for us. I'm speaking to the adult population tonight because when the day is done, whatever we have to do at this point, we must get up off our rear end and take some practical steps, make some practical decisions before this year is out. I hope we're really following what is happening in the Big Apple. I hope we're really following what is happening in other parts of the world, including China. Yes? Britain. Yes? New Zealand, all these places. We must begin to take a very serious look at what is happening across the world, moving into the end of this year, early next year. You cannot sit and watch it and do nothing. My beloved brothers and sisters, every single thing we know, every single thing we have come to know is going to change, like everything.
I have to blow the trumpet tonight because when the day is done, I don't think the Caribbean region, especially, is taking it seriously, much the more some people in other parts of the world. It is not to be taken lightly. The reset button was struck. The reset has begun. Are we ready to deal with the reset? Do we understand the reset? Do we see what is coming? Do you understand that the land that's around you, right now there's a land grab, I was told. Hell of a protest in St. Martin, well, the French side of St. Martin, I was told. Cars block the road, stones. No one is allowed to get in because the people say government is stealing their land and forcing jab on them and all kind of stupidness. When you look at these things, you realize that we're at a place in our history where nothing should be taken lightly. So looking at where we are at this point, it must never be underestimated that we are moving in a very, very interesting place, in a very, very, very interesting period in our history. And we must make the necessary preparations to meet this. My beloved brothers and sisters, the banking system is going to close. As long as the stock market crashes in the USA, the banking system is dead. And we have to understand this. Anytime the Big Apple gets the shock, that's it. I've been following some previews and some presentations by the financial analysts of our time, and they are absolutely very, very cautious right now in relation to what might happen financially as it relates or as it pertains to the stock market, as it pertains to the general economic setting in the USA. And as we know, if the USA sneezes, the Caribbean region catches the cold. I'm saying to most of you who are living in these big cities, pack your bags, move out. If you live in any big city in the world you live in, pack your bag and move out. It's a serious decision that we'll have to make. It's a very serious place in history that we will get to. But it must be understood, you cannot depend on what is going to be happening around you in these large cities. It will not be something that we are going to sleep and feel good about. I have to say this. Nothing will remain the same. Nothing. There is a lot of information out, and if you follow what has been happening over recent time, you will understand that coming from the highest, from the echelons of medicine, the echelons of politics, the highest places in the world, you will understand that what we think we were told is nothing even close to the reality as we're facing it right now. Nothing at all, even close. We must begin to take a serious look at where we go moving forward. Everything we know and trust is about to change. Some of your governments have not been saying much. They've been pretty quiet because they know what is coming. They are part of this reset. Unfortunately, for some of you who are depending on your government to put food on your table and keep your pot on the fire, if I should put it that way, they are waiting for instructions. So don't be a fool in relation to this matter. For those of you who have a little backyard and you can plant food. If you have tire, you can find some tire, old tire, go to the auto shop, where to change tires and get yourself a couple dozen tires. If you don't have backyard to farm, put a metal base inside the tire, put earth in it, sow some seeds, and start planting your own vegetables. Get some non-perishable foods, beans, seeds, uh, 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 tinned stuff if you like, non-perishables, rice, all these things if you can store them. Because many supermarkets are now running out of food. Don't wait until the line gets long, then you got join line waiting for food, and then you reach up halfway to the cashier and hear that you don't have any food. Don't be a fool, please. My beloved brothers and sisters, let us not be fools in this matter. Move now before the lines begin to get long. Listen to Kenny G tonight. The lines will begin to get long at the supermarkets. Do not wait for that to begin to happen. Move now. Get your non-perishables. Stock them. Go get your seeds if you can find them. Stock them. Get your food supply in check. Store food. Lock it away. Forget you have it. Because the day is going to come when you will need to have all your supplies stocked away, because you will need it. You and your offspring, your household will need it. Don't wait until the lines begin to get long, then you go join it to get some of the ration that is left. Don't wait. Go now while you can get it, because the days will come when you won't be able to find them. I'm not sure why I'm speaking so strong this evening, but there is a reason for what you are seeing. The systems of the world are changing, and we are now interfacing. There's an interfacing with man and AI. Artificial intelligence is now becoming the order of the day. I'm not sure if you realize that the jab that most of you took, there's a possibility by virtue of the jab that it can be controlled remotely. It's an operating system that was injected into your blood. When the day is done, it can be operated remotely. That could connect to you remotely. It's a fact. Based on the ingredients which were used to make the jab you got, for those of you who took it. The ingredients, some of them are able to be connected to remotely. Why am I saying this? Because it's an interface. There is now becoming, the reality is now here, where AI and humans are being interconnected. They didn't tell you that that's a part of the plan, but that's what it is based on the ingredients of the jab. Yeah? This is why the Nuremberg Code becomes a very critical document. The Nuremberg Code states categorically that no experiment should be conducted on any human being to cause pain and hurt or even death. And where one consents to be part of an experiment, it should be monitored very carefully and managed by qualified people. Scientists is specified. Scientists should be on hand to manage this experiment to ascertain the correct results of it. How many scientists you have around you when you're getting all of these jabs? You get it, you run off, you go about your business. Many people died while getting it. Nobody cares. But the Nuremberg Code, which is now is now international guideline for doctors. It's an international treaty that is currently very functional in all medical circles, all worldwide. It is the Bible of medicine, how doctors function. The Nuremberg Code is the Bible for doctors to follow. But from what I have been seeing, it seems very, very clear to me that our doctors have abandoned the Nuremberg Code and are violating every clause in it, as I see it, based on what is written therein. And I find this very interesting that we have come to a place in our history where the protocols managing medicine, the principles, the guidelines, which are supposed to be followed to protect every human being exposed to medicine or any such activity across the world, every flipping principle is being violated. Everyone. And I wonder when we have become a bunch of jackasses, if not a bunch of stooges, to have abandoned ourselves in the first place. And secondly, to have gotten to a place where we don't know right from wrong anymore. So we all become a bunch of mumus. And our people are so foolish to the point where we don't even have any common sense to think through these things well enough to understand when your politician or your doctor or the whoever is telling you lies. And the WHO and all these people continue to make all this garbage pile and pump it down your throat and in your blood and all over the whole place. And we're all just running after it like I've never seen nothing so stupid. It makes no sense to me. How can we, at this point in our history, my people, behave as senselessly as we have been? Listening to politicians who all they want is money, and all you are doing is selling yourselves to them to do what they want to do with you for money. Can't you see it? Are you not following what is coming out of the right places across the world? And even if you're not, you must have gotten a WhatsApp something or some media blast something that makes sense. And you listen to it and you hear it making sense. Have you not had some of those, my beloved people? When have we become so senseless? When have we gotten to the place where we trust the very people who have been trying to destroy us over many decades? When have we gotten to the place where we now trust the same people who have been trying to destroy us all this time? What's wrong here? What's wrong here? My guest is in the house, and this is going to be a hell of a discussion tonight. I'm not sure if you can handle it. Brace your seatbelts. For those of you who have joined us, our friend from I see a friend joined us from Montreal. Good evening. Vilna, thank you for joining us. Minnie, thank you for joining us as well, and all our friends across the world. Please share this program. Share with all your friends, because it will become a very interesting discussion as we link up with our brother over there in Trinidad. All our friends who have joined us in Trinidad, across the BVI, Barbados, USA, Canada, Britain, Africa. Goodness gracious. India, wherever you're joining us from, let me welcome you to the program. And of course, when the day is over, brace your seat, fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a hell of a ride. Let me get back to you in a minute. I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'll be introducing to you our special guest. Keep it safe. Don't move. Coming to us out of Trinidad, we have a very special guest with us. And for those of you who have joined us, let me ask you, please, if you are not a member of our network, please go to Facebook and go to PSI Network. Please like the page. All right, please like the page. If you're watching us from wherever you're watching us from via Facebook, please like the page. If you are watching us on YouTube, please click the like button on our YouTube channel, and of course, share with all your friends, because this is going to be an absolutely very interesting discussion you cannot afford to miss. All right, share with everyone. Coming to us out of Trinidad, goodness gracious, it's one of the craziest times in history, and of course, we are opening our systems to our people across the Caribbean region. And of course, we have one of the I think he's perhaps the greatest media personality in Trinidad. I hope I'm not blowing too much steam over there on him. Sometimes our guests don't like when you blow too much steam, but this gentleman is not a joke at all. He is. I met him recently, and he's someone I think I've grown to respect, because he's a no-nonsense man. He don't play game at all. When it comes to his job, he does it, and does it absolutely well. He has built a name for himself in Trinidad, and he's known as the Pitbull in Trinidad. Goodness gracious! Ow, ow, woof! Ow, ow! It's woof, woof.
Yes,
That's the Pitbull in Trinidad. No jokes. And when it comes to telling you like it is, welcome to the raw truth. My beloved brother Williams, greetings, salutations. What's going on over there in Trinidad? Talk with us.
let me say a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are locked onto us on the PVI with our host Kenny. And I'm happy to be a guest on this beautiful program. Happy to be a guest in order to bring the truth, the raw truth to you, the people in the Caribbean and the wider world, of exactly what's going on in Trinidad. Earlier when I was listening to Kenny mentioning about the vaccine apartheid or the vaccine discrimination that are going on throughout the world, it's no different in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? It's not mandatory in our country, but the government technically made it mandatory without legislations passing for it to become mandatory. Right? How the government of Trinidad and Tobago operate? One, we are not against anybody at all that choose when it comes to their choice and vaccines and taking the vaccines. We're not against anybody that you decide you want to do that. You make your personal decision, and you accept being vaccinated. All well is good. Wish you the best and want what's best. But it have in Trinidad here, when it comes to that vaccine thing, it have people are being forced. How the government operate in Trinidad and Tobago is that they mentioned to us that what they did is we locked down with a curfew, with a state of emergency for quite a while. Everybody was home, and what they did is to tell us that here it is. The private sector they use the private sector business association. I'm just trying to settle Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Virgin Islands, just looking to organize, settle, get into the nitty-gritty of things, while the real media TT and all is building up, because I would like to take calls too from the people in Trinidad in order to justify what it is I'm saying and what is going on and what it is our government is doing. We here. Right? We are facing a very, very, very serious vaccine apartheid in Trinidad and Tobago. The government is using the private sector to do such by letting them know, well, here it is. If you want your business to open, you need to get your workers vaccinated. And that ended up having a rippling effect. It also went on with the school, with our schools and our school kids, whereby they mention all who want to come to school face to face that you will have to organize and vaccinate So parents now run and organize to vaccinate the children, to get them to school and all them different things. They realize that the country reached a stage of a pushback. It's a vaccine pushback now. And what that did is that, what caused that pushback too is that plenty of the teachers, which is the public servants, it have a lot of them too that ain't vaccinated, but they are allowed to still go to school and teach, not being vaccinated. Right, so I will get into all that in a little bit while my researcher will be on, that will give us a whole broad spectrum of that whole vaccine apartheid situation that's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. We also want to talk about the massive corruption in Trinidad and Tobago by the government of Trinidad and Tobago take out of the Heritage and Civilization Fund about $22 billion to help the people for COVID. In that, we also got help from a lot of international companies or agencies, help Trinidad and Tobago and give us millions of dollars of US. And today, our whole healthcare system is a mess. People are only being taken care of based on COVID and COVID only. There are people that have eye surgery, pressure. There are people that have surgery, whether it be cancer, whether it be all the natural surgeries that we will normally have. Morning, good afternoon, good night. Nice. Right. Now I have the researcher, right? And I have many researchers that will be able to break down this whole situation and exactly what's going on in Trinidad when it comes to this whole vaccine situation, vaccine apartheid, and what the people of Trinidad and Tobago are going through. Mr. Researcher, introduce yourself as well, you know, the researcher, and give a broad spectrum to the wider Caribbean, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, the wider Caribbean, on what it is we're going through when it comes to the vaccine situation in this country. Go ahead, my brother.
Good night. Everybody in the panel. I'm not too sure everybody out there, all the listeners, everybody out there in the wider Caribbean. And at the end of the day, I personally believe many people across the Caribbean going through the exact same thing we're going through in Trinidad and Tobago here. Because for sure, I saw the Vincentian Prime Minister echo the same sentiments as what we're going through down here. Vaccinate to operate. You don't want to be vaccinated, you can't go to work. Now, our government here has taken a slightly different approach in that they have not made any legislation to mandate vaccination in the parliament per se, but the regulations that they issue on a more or less weekly basis speaks to here what's going on. If the businesses do not push and enforce this vaccination here, you just can't operate. So it's essentially the same thing, but they are using the businesses to put the heavy hand on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? Many people, according to Andy always echoing this, many people, when you do so and you ask them, you say, hey, how and why you took the vaccine is only because they want to remain employed. Look, I know a gentleman, he is dead as of yesterday. He, his stepdaughter and his wife took the vaccine 3 weeks ago and he is now dead. And at the end of the day, I have another friend, he is experiencing blood clots. He is at Mount Hope right now in the emergency department. So at the end of the day, no government must mandate this experimental jab for anyone, because unlike other vaccines that have gone through all the rigors in times gone by and have proper testing and clinical trials being human trials and checking for efficacy, we have this here just dumped on us in less than a year time. Everybody being mandated. This is about business. This is about money. Right now we're hearing about third dose and fourth dose and boosters, etc. You understand? So we, Andy and us, the ground report, the people at Trinidad and Tobago, we pushing back right? We in full support of Andy Williams and what he is doing. At the end of the day, anybody who wants to take the vaccine, we support them fully. At the end of the day, the decision is theirs. But no government or no employer must be able to mandate to any one of us that we must put some chemical into our body. Look, just today I speaking with somebody there and telling them, why are people being forced to be vaccinated? A vaccine's claim to fame is that it triggers your immune system to function and to attack and to make out this virus up front and to attack it at will, etc., and put your body in this so-called heightened state. Our body functions on minerals. The good Lord put minerals in the earth. We don't go around eating dirt in the ground, but the Lord put plants in the ground to absorb the minerals and to assimilate it and put it in a form that the human body could use it and I extract the minerals that are needed to make all the different components for us to function, whether it's vitamins, whether it's proteins, whether it's carbohydrates, as the case may be, enzymes, etc. So at the end of the day, all we need to do is use things that will boost our immune systems, things that provide the minerals that are required. We have a misconception when it comes to disease. This disease should really be pronounced as dis-ease. Something is wrong in the body. The symptoms that we get is to alert us and to inform us that, hey, something is wrong, you are lacking, you are deficient in some mineral, and we need to address it. We can't pop a pill or study to take chemo or do dialysis or cut for cancer or burn for cancer. At the end of the day, we need to find the root cause of the problem and to address it. Look, there are simple things like oregano oil. Look, my daughter now come in the bedroom here. I'm feeling again a little sore throat there. Mommy, put a drop of oregano oil in this water for me. That is a kind of time. And that kills viruses on sight. Onion, the sulfur on the onion, you grate someone and you put it below your foot. By the morning, you're good to go. So at the end of the day, we have been fed a lot of lies. And it is peddled by the medical fraternities, right? At the end of the day, Big Pharma sponsors many of the medical schools across the globe. So, and all they do, they put somebody on the medical board in our country, they say, hey, this is how it has to go. At the end of the day, I have plenty doctor friends who I went to school with. And they make it plain and straight. Hey, we cannot prescribe or we cannot encourage you to use anything natural. We must encourage you to use something that a pharmaceutical company produces. However, it is injurious to my health. There is no medication on the planet that any one of us can say, hey, this is 100% side effect free. That will be a lie. God gave us healing things, garlic, onion. People scoff and mock at these things. But this is what has to build the immune system. And this is what human beings supposed to function and operate on.
Nice. As you're right there, Kenny, I would like you to converse with us. We want to see you too, right? We would like you to ask us various questions based on what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. When it coming to the politics and all, anything. Just
listen.
You will have an idea what
I have been listening to this gentleman presenting all the information he's presenting us, and when the day is done, I'm actually soaking it up because when the day is done, I find it absolutely very interesting that Trinidad, being a Caribbean country which is built on the foundations of democracy. And by virtue of its existence, since the days of the colonization, well, of course, now we realize that colonization is still very functional across all aspects of the Caribbean region. Now we're talking about mandated vaccine, which is 100% in violation of the Nuremberg Code and all else. And the people sit down and watch all of this happening and everybody bawling and nobody, what? Is it that we're helpless? What the hell is going on?
Right, but is the conversation only about the vaccine apartheid that are going on throughout and the vaccine discrimination, or would we be able to go in to show besides the disrespect and the constitutionalities of what it is the people of Trinidad and Tobago going through, the various effects that all of us are facing because of this COVID, such as the unemployment, the lockdown, 2 state of emergencies, and only stopping the state of emergency because the opposition wouldn't support them to go for next 3 months again.
Go to the parliament.
The fact of taking out $22 billion out of the treasury in order to help we with the same COVID, same vaccine thing, right? The fact that we rather was to buy vaccines from the Chinese and wait and lapse when for those who wanted to take vaccines early in the game, the opposition also organized and beg India, America supply us with vaccines, a lot of free vaccines too. And the government of Trinidad and Tobago decide they want to pay for vaccines, which is not popular in Trinidad and Tobago, which is the Sinopharm vaccines that nobody in Trinidad and Tobago not taking, right? And we can go on and on from since this whole COVID-19 situation start, and why it is this COVID-19 situation have the people of Trinidad and Tobago in a whole mess. Our whole life is in a mess.
Well, I tell you what, sir, and this now becomes a very it needs to be understood very clearly that the agenda or the aim is to create instability.
Thank you.
Now, as if there is no instability, there will be no position set to administer a remedy. Thus, it negates the capacity for control. Now,
problem, reaction, solution.
Yes, yes. So just to explain it for the average listener to understand what I'm saying, if you don't have a cold, you don't need a vitamin C tablet. Yes, and when the day is done, you must have instability. If people are listen, the fear that you're witnessing right now is not designed for the strong, you know. It is designed for the weak of heart, the faint of heart. Because when you get afraid and you hear COVID is going to kill you and your family and kill the dog outside on the puss, you're going to run go take it. You're going to run go take the jab, you know. Because it is designed to kill you, literally kill you by destroying you mentally, psychologically in the first place, and then physically. Right? You raised some very interesting questions, my brother. And when the day is done, there are many answers to these questions which we need to understand. And I have never gone down this road with this before, but we must stand with our brothers and sisters across the Caribbean region as they suffer as a result of this madness. There is no law. There is absolutely no law in the books or made after them which gives anyone the right to violate the unalienable right of any human being. Let's get that off the bat. No law in the books. Absolutely no law. And the problem we're having is because of the ignorance of our people, the laws have been abrogated to implement this agenda, which has no good. Absolutely no good. In any form or color when it comes to our brothers and sisters across the world. And this is exactly what is happening here.
This is about big business here too, eh?
Right?
This is about big business. The most basic math you could do is just to watch a simple booster shot for Pfizer throughout the US. Remember, Pfizer was selling countries in Eastern Europe and things the Pfizer vaccine for $12 plus, but they were selling the US for $19 plus, almost $20. 300 million at $20 a shot is $6 billion no, for one shot no, just for the US alone no. Extra, this is about big business. And we have seen this play off right here in Trinidad and Tobago too.
But let me say this to you, sir.
Uh-huh.
Let me say this to you, because when the day is done,
Yeah.
there is one simple remedy to all of this madness, and maybe we really need to have this discussion. One simple remedy. They sit in their House of Representatives, the House of Parliament, wherever in hell they want to sit, and they use the pen, sit down over paper, come up with their statutes and their acts.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody stamp it and seal it, and then send it out. Okay, read this to the people, and that becomes law. Law, my hell. This is what has been happening. And all of this is happening without concern for actual law. Everything is happening under color of law. And again, I say, because our people are ignorant of what law is, we are all made victims of this crap. Now, first of all, sir, and I'm saying this to my beloved brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago, you cannot sit and watch all of this happening and pretend to be cute and do nothing about it when it is abrogating laws and violating your unalienable rights as a people. It's madness. Now, you may not like me after today. I couldn't care a rat's but what you think or feel about this, because this is law. I'm not talking crap. This is law. And all lawyers who know what law is about will fully agree. The problem is that everybody is afraid. I'm not sure when we have become a bunch of chickens. Everybody's afraid to speak.
That is what's going on. That is what it is going on in Trinidad. People that where I will expect, that I watch highly educated, have high morals, will stand up for the people based on this whole vaccine situation. Afraid to talk out. The doctors afraid to talk out. Tell our government put it in a way by here where it is. In order for anybody to refuse the vaccine or have a good cause to refuse the vaccine, your private doctor cannot tell you. You have to go to the health office and get a healthcare doctor who working within the service to tell you, well, no, you cannot take a vaccine. That's how bad it is. That when you think that your doctor is something personal to you, and your doctor will know your business, will know all your health comorbidities that you have, and that a government or people will respect that, hey, your doctor say, well, you can't take that vaccine or none because this is your health issue, that get thrown out the door. Totally thrown out the door. Your personal doctor cannot recommend that, Kenny, in Trinidad here. The only person could recommend that you cannot take a vaccine because of comorbidity problems or health situations. The government put it in a situation where it's only the doctors and nurses that are in the public healthcare system. That's how bad it is, Kenny.
Well,
what
sir,
would you say about that?
No, but look at this. Even the basic constitution that you know, the basic functional constitution. Well, I realize that anything that is coming out of Britain was not designed to protect people. It was designed to give benefit to Britain. That's simply what it was. But the whole point is, even the constitution, as it were, if it is to be understood in a lawful sense, has clauses in it which protects the people in the land. Period. If that is not enough, the Nuremberg Code as a medical declaration, which is functionally active across the medical circles of the world until this very day, has been violated in all aspects of its existence.
Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to that same Nuremberg Code. We are. So go ahead.
The point is, you look at it. Before I go further, we have forgotten, and this is the part of history which has messed up the minds of all our people. You from Barbados, we from Trinidad, over there from Jamaica, the one over there from Vinci, and the whole stupid set of us are divided as hell. everybody minding their own business, when we are all living in the Americas, all corporate subjects like the Jamaica that we know it and the Trinidad that we know it, all of these are corporations, yes, are signatories to the very laws that were declared by the great United States for the peoples across the land. We call them the Aborigines of the land. Now, I might sound like I talk in Spanish tonight, but what I need my brothers and sisters across the region to understand is that we are all one people living and occupying the absolute very same land. That's all it is. You're not different from me, I'm not different from you. And when a prime minister who is a corporate subject stands to abrogate the rights of the laws, the very same treaties which they signed to protect their people, it is treasonous, it's a violation of human rights, and where a medical experiment is being conducted as declared by the Nuremberg Code, and it is not monitored and managed properly by scientists and qualified people, and people are dying as they are dying right now, and all the rest of garbage that's going on with it. The man behind pushing this crap needs to be caught by the people, locked in a cell someplace, tried, and due justice rendered, because it is a criminal act. It is a violation of all laws.
And if you realize,
am I the only idiot? Am I the only idiot in the house? Am I the only idiot here?
You are not. And if you realize, this is the only topic that I have in Trinidad and Tobago that I put my tail between my legs as a dog. Because again, I see plain what's going on here. You talk, you get victimized. You're in a position where, damn if you do, damn if you don't, it is what it is. You talk about the Constitution. The Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time are being infringed on all how. No, the government of the day not obliged to that Constitution that you are talking about. That's thrown out the door. That's a fact. The government of the day not obliged to that. The Constitution said all of those things. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, supposed to be protected, but we get beat down since this crisis to now. That imagine people are willing to accept what it is taking place, what the situation that is taking place with us. At this, with the exception of me, my good friend researcher, and many other people, majority get beaten into submission. We have no rights. That's why, again, we have a march coming up November the 30th, Tuesday, November the 30th, at the Queen's Park, Savannah, which is the People's Revolution, based on this whole vaccine apartheid, based on, again, all kind of unconstitutional situations that are going on in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time, and we have no say. Whether it be the DPP, whether it be the police commissioner, which we don't have one again too, because again, the government infiltrate the president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to a merit list and all those bacchanal. When it coming to the independent of the EBC, which is the Election and Commission Boundaries, that and all in a mess. We do not have none of our independent institutions that supposed to advocate for us in Trinidad. What you doing, Kenny, on a day on every Monday throughout the Caribbean, we don't have that in Trinidad. The opposition on the whole trying, but they are booblies for the government of Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time too. So it's just a whole runaway horse. Once a country that you and many of the listeners that are locked on right now knew Trinidad to be, they used to call it with abbreviations, Little America, rich, that many Caribbean citizens, whether it be Grenada, Guyana, and all those different places, actually came and lived Trinidad. Many of them live in Trinidad. Imagine we have Venezuelans and all that that come as refugees. When this whole pressure and this whole downturn of the economy and the downturn of this whole the same COVID, come into play, down to the Venezuelans, many Venezuelans left Trinidad and Tobago. So what you doing here for us and how you talking to us, Kenny, that will go on deaf ears with all the relevant authorities in Trinidad and Tobago that's supposed to be raising these issues.
Can I
As
ask
I
you
say,
something?
with that, I put my tail between the leg. It reached us bad. We was advocating just like you about this whole vaccine pattern, this whole vaccine that they mandate on us in a very smart way without legislation. They mandate it without legislation. Because if you ask anybody in Trinidad and Tobago between me and you, hell, why did you take the vaccine? Well, I don't say take it or else I'll lose my job. I had to take it because I had my children, my bills to pay. And you will hear stories by everyone who took the vaccines. It have everything to do with security, job security, their livelihood. And the government of Trinidad and Tobago, this government of Trinidad and Tobago, work it in a brilliant direction. Like how the African slaves, like how before we came in as slaves from Africa. And sometimes we own people. It's who between some submission. The whole Winnie Lynch, whole, we in real trouble. Your country, I'm sure, still better off than us. The rest of the Caribbean countries still better off than Trinidad and Tobago.
Can I ask you something?
When it comes to that vaccine thing.
Remember,
I tell you all of that.
I need to ask you this. Do you still have a judiciary system in Trinidad?
Go ahead, researcher. Talk to him. Do we still have a judiciary system? And what is the situation? Go ahead.
Yes, we do, brother Kenny.
Well, if you have one, sir, and I'm saying this to you I'm saying this to you very mildly. Going on the road to march and make up noise and sing all day and technically waste time doesn't work. Marches don't work. What we need to do is to study the laws, all available treaties which were signed by the government of your land. You need to study them, know them. Next, you need to secondly and finally hold them accountable to the treaties which they are violating. That's your duty as a people to do so.
How? Not coming out in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't have a culture, Kenny, in Trinidad and Tobago of what you suggesting.
Change the culture.
The politicians, all right, and that is the change. Normally, what is going on and why it getting worse with us is because we're not doing that way it is you mentioned there, which is we don't have an independent judiciary. We don't anymore. We don't have that, an independent judiciary anymore. We win only various cases. And like a thief in the night, like recently their judgment was passed based on the Police Service Commission by the High Court of Trinidad and Tobago. Recently there. I think Ravi Balgobin brought that whole issue to the High Court of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Based on the if it is that the Police Service Commission was right in picking our police commissioner. And how that went, Kenny, is that like a thief in the night, they take out clause 5, which again, I'm pulling up all them things right now, but internet is working very, very bad at this point in time. Of that whole situation, and like a thief in the night, the people of Trinidad and Tobago didn't get the answers that we're looking for.
Let me take a break at this point, and we will be coming right back in a minute. And when we come back, we are going to be looking a little more in depth at exactly what is happening over there in Trinidad and Tobago. We come back in a minute. Don't touch the dial.
You have been watching the latest development, and you seem to be very unsure of what to do next. You know something is about to happen, but again, you simply keep watching without a clue as to what to do next. Wake up, my brothers and sisters. You must move now to save yourselves. You must move now to prepare yourselves for the peril ahead. To delay is to open yourself to serious trouble, and there will be no one to blame but you. Lifeline Financial Programs has always been telling you that things will get very serious very quickly if you do not move now to prepare for what is coming. Nothing will get better. We are on a downhill ride. You must get up and move now to save yourself. It is predicted that you will be having serious financial problems soon. Will you sit and wait until everything has crashed then say, "If I had known"? Find us today at Lifeline Financial Programs. We have the best plans to keep you alive during the trying times ahead. Mark my word. You will remember every word I say. Don't wait until everything has fallen apart and you are running around like a chicken without a head. Find us at Lifeline Financial Programs today. We will help you find a way. Call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvlimited@gmail.com.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.
Welcome back. And of course, you're live here with me, Kenny G. And of course, our special guest this evening is our beloved brother in Trinidad, out of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Williams himself, the Pitbull of radio in Trinidad and Tobago. We're actually examining a very interesting matter here as we look at what is happening in that side of the world. A little interesting, I think, because the rest of the Caribbean region seems to be perhaps at the same place, but yet not necessarily at the same place. I'm not sure if some of our politicians have been rewarded some astronomical sums of cash to get the agenda rolling or what. I don't know. But it seems to me that some prime ministers across the region have taken a great, are making great effort to to get their people 100% sold on the fact that this vaccine, from what they're saying, will protect them and their family and prevent them from catching whatever it does, prevent them from catching, when none of the above is true. Absolutely none of the above is true. And this is not Kenny G saying it. This is the facts as they come out of the CDC, the WHO, and all parties that are currently releasing the information across the world. Yes? And if I should use some very practical reference points, which are facts, our Jewish community, I think it's Israel. I think they were 80 something percent vaccinated. They have the highest rate of COVID to date. New Zealand, I think it is. Yes. High vaccination rate. I think it's 80% of their, someplace there, of their people vaccinated fully, injected people, COVID. Britain, on the books, 80% of injected people coming down with COVID. And I got news out of New York today that a lot of people are running into the hospital. They're not sure exactly what is causing it, but our associates connected to us here reported to us that people are running to the hospital. They're not sure what is happening, and some of them are dying. Don't ask me what the hell is going on, but when the day is done, the truth is not being told. None of us know the truth. And if our prime ministers across the Caribbean region are part and party of this genocidal act that I'm seeing happening right now, which is set to destroy our people, they should all be held 100% accountable. And where they have violated the rights of people, they need to be brought into question. I'm not speaking as one who is seeking to be malicious. I'm speaking as one who have lived lawfully until this very day within the land called the Americas, where we all live across the Caribbean region, which is Central America. For those of you who might be a little shocked by this fact, this is where we are. We're living in the Central Americas. And there are many laws in place which, if abrogated, should raise a hell of a red flag that all of us who are within these lands should take a very strong position against it. If Trinidad, at this point, like St. Vincent, which kind of cool off, I'm sure Ralph Gonzalez realizing what he's dealing with, take a back step perhaps, because the people in St. Vincent are absolutely very adamant that they will not settle for this kind of garbage. Many other places are realizing it fast. Jamaica, they're all realizing it. The people are getting to a place where they're saying, hell no, we are not going to allow ourselves to be violated by the subjugation of our rights to the place where our health is going to be compromised by something that is on record as killing millions of people. Where do we go now? We have on the line Mr. My good friend out of Trinidad. And when the day is done, it's very interesting that Trinidad, at this point, except for the voice of this man, one is wondering what exactly is happening there. Because when the day is over, we are not hearing much out of any one place about anything that is happening. And here we are, Trinidad is expressing to us exactly what is happening there in no uncertain term. And this ought to be commended by these people who have made it their duty to connect with us here on The Raw Truth, to share with us what is happening in Trinidad. It is absolutely frightening. And when the day is done, if the people sit by helplessly and do nothing.
That is what the people doing here in Trinidad. And to make an example, I'm just sorry that the feed real bad. But listen to our prime minister, to you, the rest of the Caribbean. So they will understand the submission that the people of Trinidad and Tobago get beat into. We get beat into submission whereby it's either we go with the whole vaccine situation or it's not a part of Trinidad and Tobago anymore, technically. Yeah, it isolates you. Go ahead, let me play the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I hope that we go ahead.
And I see it being interpreted as bullying. I see it being interpreted as taking away rights. I see it being interpreted as standing between man and God and taking away a license to walk into heaven. All of that I've seen. But the long and short of it is that this is the one thing that we are not doing fully or as fully.
Pause on that.
And
pause on that.
So,
Kenny, so you heard what it is the Prime Minister say. He see it as being bullying. He see it, remember, it have religious people, to all of you out there in the Caribbean, that it have people that, because of religious reasons, would not take a vaccine. You see it as all of it, but he admitting one thing they ain't doing fully, the government not doing it fully. When it comes to the vaccination, he's not taking away rights fully. He's not doing it fully. You hear him? He said that. So again, listen, and I wouldn't stop it. So you'll have an idea why it is everybody frightened. Doctors afraid to talk. Lawyers afraid to talk. Police afraid to talk. Trinidad and Tobago is in a worse state than all the rest of Caribbean countries. All. We in a worse state. Play it from the beginning. It's just a 2 minutes, 3 minutes clip of the Prime Minister, so Kenny and the rest of the Caribbean will get a feel of what we're going through right now when it comes to this vaccination thing, and our livelihoods are under threat. Go ahead, Director Koff.
And I see it being interpreted as bullying. I see it being interpreted as taking away rights. I see it being interpreted as standing between man and God and taking away your license to walk into heaven. All of that I've seen. But the long and short of it is that this is the one thing that we are not.
That we are not, boy, cut it stick. All right. Can he come in by the time?
Yeah, man, we're right here. Because
why he put that together? Because that is the problems we get in here too. Internet problems and all.
yes,
Throughout the country. Trinidad was rich with gas. They closed down Petrotrin. The nothing working anymore in Trinidad and Tobago, Kenny.
no, but my brother, listen. It does not work because you allow it not to work. I'm sorry to say it this way, but listen, sir. If you accept garbage, you're gonna get more of it. It's as simple.
Well, the people of Trinidad and Tobago are accepting garbage in its majority.
Precisely. And
That's
when people accept garbage and they keep dishing garbage out to you and you keep sucking up all the crap, then you get more of it. It's simple. When the people decide we don't want no more of this crap, then it stops. Period. And that is why you put these guys into the so-called business called government, which, if you understand exactly what is happening now that we know it, they're not looking out for the business of people. The people need to get people who are looking out for their own business rather than put people in the corporation who are only looking out for the corporation instead of looking out for their own business. That is the problem. But now, because the corporation is functional in the way that it is and is looking out for itself, if the people don't raise hell and go on bad and demand what they want from the corporate subjects, calling themselves prime ministers and ministers of government, they will never ever get a decent salary, much the more food on their table. It will not happen.
And
so
again,
the people of Trinidad need to get up off their rear end, my brother, and understand that unless they demand of their government what is just and right, it will not happen. Period.
And the people knows, Kenny. They knows all what you are saying. But here is the problem. Trinidad and Tobago, when it comes to politics, have a serious race problem. Half our population is East Indian descent. The next half is of African descent. The wealthy people in Trinidad and Tobago is where we'll call the 1%, the Syrian Lebanese of population, and the big shot East Indians. So we end up split, whereby in Trinidad and Tobago is two major parties. One party is the UNC, which is an East Indian-based party. The next party is the PNM, which is the government at this point in time, which is an African-based party. And this PNM government happened to use, because you see the stance of the Prime Minister and how he talks, talks down at people, very disrespectful, and he have the support because the black community like it so. They like how the Prime Minister doing.
Tell me something, sir. Tell me something. It seems that the internet problem really bad, but it seems like Trinidad and Guyana is the same garbage. Is it true that where you have a lot of Indians, you have this kind of division in the nation that is working against copper-colored people? And if you ask me who the hell are Indian people, they are also copper-colored people. Is it that they see themselves as better than their brothers and sisters because what? Them here look curly or some stupidness? I can't figure out this kind of crap, you know. You look into Guyana, the same thing. You look, is it that Trinidad is a reflection of what is happening in Guyana? I find it very interesting. Absolutely very interesting. Mr. Burke, a good friend of mine, he's a guest of this program repeatedly, and the level of criminality you see executed against melanated people in that country, Guyana, it's appalling, frightening that copper-colored people hate their own copper-colored brothers and sisters, and everybody's living in the Americas. I'm not sure where somebody get drunk and get stupid to think that you are better than your own melanated brother and sister, simply because what? Your hair look pretty or some stupidness? Isn't that psychological derangement? Is it that racism is more prevalent within the Central Americas than it is in North America, for that matter, or South America? Is this the problem we're having? And even among our regular Caribbean brothers and sisters, is it that we have become so psychologically deranged that we hate ourselves that badly? And guess what? The more you hate your one another and hate your brothers and sisters, our brothers coming out of brothers and sisters coming out of the Caucasian communities and the Chinese community and the Arab community, just sit on one side, watch you form in the ass, and the minute you get stupid, they take away your land and thief your money and set up themselves to get your wealth, and the garbage continues. We have to get to a place, my people, where we cut the crap. My brother just got he got disconnected because his internet, it seems, is giving him a hell of a time. Yes? Basic internet service that you're paying your money for every month. You are paying money for internet service every month. Right? And you're paying what? $100 and odd for a basic plan, or $90 odd for a little plan. You go someplace in the big area, you get a basic functional plan, enough gigabytes of data for pennies. But in the Caribbean region, internet is a golden commodity that you're paying hundreds of dollars or thousands in Jamaica, for example, literally, for a decent internet plan, and it is like a pile of garbage. Is this what it has become? And every month, we the people pay these telecommunications company for internet service. And we sit and watch. You see, it goes back to exactly what my beloved brother is saying. And I'm saying this repeatedly. If you sit and accept this garbage to happen, you will only get more of it. It's a fact. We have to get to the point where we decide what is best for us. And for those of us who feel we have the authority to dish out to some of us what they think is best for us, when you, the people, examine it, is a pile of crap. And if you sit and accept it, it's your fault. We need to get to the place where we get top of our rear end and demand from these politicians exactly what is just and right for ourselves. The time has come. I'm very sorry to hear what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. It's very, very sad. Now the internet service is gone, it seems. They got cut. Right? And you wonder, probably, you never know what the hell is happening on the back end. It does happen. Right? It's a shame. We really need to wake up as a people and take charge of our space. It is our land. The United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Aborigines people or indigenous people tells you that you are the owners of the land. You decide what goes down in your land. It's your land. The same treaty that your government signed with the United Nations tells you that you own the land, and they need to respect your position as occupiers of the land. You can go anywhere in your country and set up shop and use the land as you so wish, as the Aborigines of the nation. It's your land. The United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People tells you that categorically clear. Is it that we don't read? All right. So when I go on Bad Number People, Kenny said, you better start reading for yourself. You better start reading. Welcome back, my brother.
Nice. I'm glad that I'm back. I hope that we'll work in better now. It looked like we up things a little bit, and that I must say, my brother Kenny, and to the rest of the wider Caribbean, that whether even if Trinidad and Tobago is like a Guyana situation or if it go, the people, the African people in Trinidad tends to strive better under the East Indian government. When it coming to governance in Trinidad and Tobago, by fact, education ministry, the education wise, we function better. When it comes to a black man or poor people being able to afford to drive a vehicle, we will call a roll on, roll off. Right. Again, it was the East Indian government. All along in Trinidad and Tobago, we have the PNM government, which is the African government, and we have them in power for nearly 50 years, 40-something years, 50 years. Every other government in Trinidad and Tobago, my brothers and sisters throughout the Caribbean and the Virgin Islands and all of you, every other government only get one term. We had one term besides this African government, the PNM, that are in power again. As they come back in power, we had gate programs. We had a lot of educational programs. We was even recognized by Hillary Clinton when it coming to early childhood schools that the former government built. And this African government organized and destroyed all of that. As this African government come in power, we had where we could have go online, the courier services, order things outside, whether it be medication, whether it be glasses, all those different things. The African government come in and put taxes on that, whereby to make it hard or make it expensive for we to bring things from the outside cheap in order to give the 1% in Trinidad and Tobago business. The owners, besides this African government here, we had, which is the PNM, we had the NAR. That was
86 to 91.
86 to 91, correct? Which was after the NAR, we had
PNM again.
the PNM again, which is the African government.
Then we had UNC from 95 to 2001.
Twice we had the East Indian government.
And then we had the partnership from 2010 to 2016.
A partnership. Everything else is the PNM, the black government. Who destroying the people of Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time is the black government. Black face. But behind them is the 1% in Trinidad.
And that's how we get the Caribbean listening some facts to back up what we're talking about.
Go ahead and give them the facts, researcher. Give them the facts.
Only a particular group, when the PNM is in power, only a particular ethnic group and the people around them stand to benefit. And the poor people, both African and East Indian, pays the brunt of all the taxes and the legislations that they implement and they put in place. The fines, everything is to squeeze the poor man. The 1% benefit right through under the PNM. I watched back in 2005, the Pigeon Point Estate in Tobago. They came at the Sabga family, that is, and Samakal group. They came and sold that back to the THA in 2005 for $105,750,000. Anthony Sabga, the junior, the son, he came in his chairman's report for Antamakal in 2006. Brother Kenny, you can pull it up on your side. 2006 annual report. Go on that chairman's statement. He boasted about the $85.3 million profit. $85 million profit. Hey, I can understand a man pay $10 million for something. He sell it back for 25. But so you telling me the government don't have valuators? These men put in money in these fellas' hands. This thing has to stop here, Brother Kenny. The 1% don't pay no tax. Go and pull it up now. Terra Caribbean sees about real estate in Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada. On Terra Caribbean website, just to use one of the bigger real estate agents in Trinidad and Tobago. they're the most expensive properties. I'm talking about 27 million, 20 million, 15 million TT dollars. And when you go on the description for the property, they make it clear that here what's going on. Don't worry about stamp duty. Terra have this, I have it screenshot, I have it print out, they can go and delete it. Don't worry, we have this in company name, so you don't have to pay any money. Our Attorney General, Faris Al-Wari, sold a property listed in a company name a year and change ago. The company name is Farda Enterprises. I want to understand what we're dealing with now. Because this
Go ahead.
This AG stood in Parliament and say, hey, tax evasion is illegal, but tax avoidance, all you knock all yourself out with a shrug. And he proved it in 2019 when he was in capacity as the Attorney General and the Minister of Legal Affairs. He sold an acre of land in Tobago to the people in Tobago that own the second largest supermarket chain, Viewport Supermarket. You know how they just transfer land, Brother Kenny? They don't go in the land registry and pay stamp duty like me and you, who had to study if we uncle want to give you a piece of land for we to get a loan. And oh God, we had to put it in we name and we had to pay stamp duty. What we go do, boy? And we trying how we go make up that 100,000, that 50,000 to pay the stamp duty. No! They register the land in a company name and walk in the company registry and transfer one share. You hear what I'm telling you? But you're coming and bringing legislation and telling us about you need to pay your property taxes. Stamp duty is a form of property tax. These men not paying it. Our Minister of Finance stood in June 2020 when Senator Mark leveled facts against him in the Parliament, in the Senate, and he bought a property which he built apartment condos where he made over 55 million TT dollars. The man do so and say, hey, he was supposed to pay $525,000 stamp duty. 7% of $7.5 million. I could tell you that because he came out blatantly and told us the purchase price. He said, hey, I paid $7.5 million for this property. And he never said the property level be categorically correct. He said, I paid $7.5 million for a company. And the only asset the company owns is a piece of land. And this man stood there when he was supposed to pay $525,000 in stamp duty. He held up a paper for the media in the press conference and say, hey, I paid $37,500 because I transfer shares. And he stood there and he smirked and you understand? He sit down and he bought a raised gas on them. I raise it by 15%. I raise it again. And I raise it by another 15%. They haven't granted yet. And he laughed at us.
Hold on that, hold right there. So understand what we're going through, Kenny, you know. We're going through at this point in time when people believe that is the East Indians' advantage in the country. The Trinidad and Tobago had an East Indian government once and a people's partnership after. It had a Basdio Pandey was our prime minister, and the country thrived. Oil and gas went down, and he run this country with $9 a barrel. After him, we had Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her people's partnership government. Before those both, we had A.N.R. Robinson. First up, A.N.R. Robinson, that is when Abu Bakr overthrew the country. So we get a history. In Trinidad and Tobago, it's not the East Indians mashing up Trinidad and Tobago and causing all the corruption and bubble. And the disunity and the racial division in Trinidad. It is the African doing it. Incompetent government, the PNM.
Imagine we telling you that.
This is facts.
Yeah.
They have been in power for 40-something years. They had a treasury whereby we had over $100 billion saved. We was lending money to Caribbean islands. The same African government, when it coming to the 1%, the 1% in Trinidad and Tobago is what we'll call the Lebanese Syrian community. And just a few big shot Indians.
And French.
And French Creole. That's the 1% in Trinidad and Tobago. Other than that, all the rest, African and Indians, when this government in power, because the 1% controls the African government. Imagine that. You know, the 30 pieces are silver mentality. And why it is they try to discriminate against the Indians is because the Indians are more educated in Trinidad and Tobago. If you check the education system in Trinidad and Tobago and the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago, the crime in Trinidad and Tobago is highest with the African people. All the murders in Trinidad and Tobago, the majority is African people. And the government constituencies. Facts. When it's coming to children doing their common entrance, where in schools, the majority of the people in the first 100 to get all the good marks in this country is the East Indian community that coming from the denominational schools, whether it be the Ashra or the Hindu schools or however it go. The government schools, Kenya and the rest of the place, Caribbean, in a mess. Why does we African government do our best for us? Why does we African government, black government, not putting legislations in place to make us millionaires? Why it is that this African government getting the support? Yeah, why? The
Prime Minister say he let the 1% get richer so they could throw something up.
All right, play that clip with the Prime Minister. The Prime, all you listening, listen. No, it's time for this thing to done. Play it, Director Koff. Play it.
Well, that is so cliched. I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer, but the poor must come out of poverty, right? So
well, that's kind of bridging the gap, you know?
That is the equation. It's not a seesaw where one has to go down for the other one to come up. You have to find a way that you encourage the rich to get richer, because in getting richer, they create opportunities for the poor. Opportunity. And of course, if one wants to take advantage of opportunities that are made available, one has to prepare oneself, right? To make the sacrifice, to make the effort, because out of effort will come reward. So it's not a simple up and down situation. It is that you have a target of ensuring that no one is left behind and that there's opportunity for everyone to move up.
One of the things.
You understand? Get the rich richer, Kenny, in order to create opportunities. He have been doing that. Getting the rich richer. Super rich. And they're not creating no opportunities for us.
Can I ask you something, sir?
Go ahead.
Maybe I need to help my brothers and sisters in Trinidad to understand this. Prime ministers are not there to work in the best interest of the people. Let me say it categorically. So the bull crap you're hearing about making rich richer to benefit. Listen, they could only play these games where the people are ignorant, you know. Because all that is set to do is to build the corporate status of that country in a way that, of course, the rich is going to be to benefit. The poor man are going to pay the jackasses that them right to make the money. It's a simple fact now. These guys do not represent poor people, sir. They represent the corporation, which is the government. That is simply what it is. All of these governments were incorporated in the United States of America. Yes. And they're all companies. And all these guys that you put in government over there in that country are not looking out for you, the people. They're looking out for the best interest of the corporation. Let me get that in your head. We could get into more details later on if you want me to do that. But when the day is done, that's all these governments do. And the people need to understand. I keep saying this over and over and over again. Their rights will be abrogated by these men. They will be exploited. they'll be kicked in the ass like a bunch of jackasses if they don't get up off their rear end and demand from these people what is just and right for themselves. I can't say it more frankly. It has to be that way. You cannot depend on a government, sir, to do what is right for you. They don't care a damn about you. How long is it going to take our people across the Caribbean region to understand this?
Very long. They control the media, and the media is very, very powerful. They control the media, which the 1% control mainstream media in Trinidad and Tobago, and the government and them, all of them in cahoots. So it's a whole ignorant society with a lot of ignorant people not understanding that we are the government. We, the people, are the government. And that's why, Brother Kenny, we decide, as the lifting of the curfew dropping on the 29th of this month, the curfew, that is it for the state of emergency curfew. That is why after the 29th, which is the 30th, we start to advocate now to bring that self-awareness and trying to empower the people for them to understand that they are the government and these people not working in our best interest. This government will ignore the fact, as you say, whether we go to court or no business, we got to know the money that they're spending for court is we money anyhow. And the judiciary system in Trinidad and Tobago is like, it will take 5 years, 10 years. So as you say, go to court. So it will take 5 years, 10 years before a simple case against the writing, the constitution. It will take 5, 10 years. So by then our government might change and they will beat you down because remember, you know what to take your money to fight them in the court, while them going and take the government money, we money, to fight we who fighting them, Kenny. That is how bad it is. We are not.
Well, I'll tell you what now.
Tied up in court. Will pay. Remember, we know if we put something in court or you put something in court, Kenny, and the rest of the Caribbean, you ought to take that money from your pocket. You may not be able to hire a Queen's Counsel from England, from Britain, a lord, and those things. They will take our money. We will come up with a case, a constitutional rights case, whereby for judicial review. And when we do that, they will organize and tie it up in the court. But
let me ask you this again, sir, because you see, there's a certain level of dependency which the people in general has laid squarely at the feet of government officials. And I'm not going to stop saying this until it clicks in the mind of somebody that you cannot trust government officials to protect your rights. You can't trust them. As a matter of fact, government has become the enemy of the people. That's exactly what it is. Because they are not serving the best interest of the people. Again, I ask you, do you have a judicial system in your country? And if you say yes and it's not working, my next statement would be this. The people themselves need to get up off their rear end and begin to study law, not legalism, because not all things legal are lawful. It must be understood. These people are using color of law to abrogate your rights and send you to the bottom of the pit, and you don't even understand what is happening there because they are dealing with legalism. Lawyers are legal-minded people. They don't understand what it means to be lawful. The law of liberty is absolute strange to them. They don't know what the hell it is. People need to get up and understand that law becomes their business where the system fails. And if you don't know law, your goose is cooked, I could tell you. Cooked.
But as researcher was explaining to you and many others, they reach as far as creating laws to protect themselves. We had a bill to pass that was very, very important, called the procurement legislation. The procurement legislation was in dire need for the people of Trinidad and Tobago that it needed to be passed.
Let me break you right there for a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Laws to protect themselves, you say.
That is what they're coming with. Yeah.
Any law which gives unfair advantage to another is not law, because law offers equity to all. That is law.
Not in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, again, I say, sir, you, the people, need to get up like a bunch of mad bulls and start bucking down the damn fence. If you sit down like you're all stupid, you're going to be abrogated. Your rights are going to be abrogated. I can't stop saying it.
They infiltrate the police service, whereby look, people coming out for the right thing, such as the scrap iron industry had a simple thing as a motorcade, and the government make sure that can't happen. So they infiltrate the police service. That's one of the reasons why, if you in the Caribbean ever heard about Gary Griffith, the former ex-commissioner of police, he was on the verge of investigating the shutdown of our main foreign exchange, Petrotrin, that was shut down only based on two senior politicians' names and is attached to the whole Petrotrin dilemma. Explain short and sweet, dear researcher, about that Petrotrin issue.
Well, boy, we were fed stories, as I call them, official narratives. Petrotrin are making money. The former administration was hiding the losses of Petrotrin. Now, mind you, these things only started to come to the fore only after September 2017, when an internal audit team at Petrotrin conducted an investigation into a field in Catch Hill in Moruga, and they found that there were certain anomalies and strange occurrences, and they found that there was collusion between a former Petrotrin employee and someone who was operating a field. So they brought it to the attention of the bosses. The opposition leader got a copy of the document and brought out the information to the public in September 2017. Lo and behold, on November the 30th, 2018, Petrotrin was shut down. We now import fuel, and let it be known, the fuel we are importing, watch out, according to you, Brother Kenny, these kind of acts, and anytime the good Lord give us that information, whether it's from the scientists at the labs at Pointe-à-Pitre or wherever, God will give it to us. I'm putting it on the record here today. If these fellas are interfering with the volatility of that fuel and making it burn faster than it's supposed to, so that people have to return to the pump faster than they are supposed to, that will be an act of treason. You're putting people on the breadline. Taxi and maxi people raising their fares. They're using COVID and putting restrictions in place. Imagine this. We could sit down on a plane and go to Tobago and rub shoulders once you have on your mask, but you have taxi money and you're putting 75% occupancy, 50% occupancy. You understand? So what the taxi men forced to do? I driving a taxi up and down the road whole day with two people in it, and the gas burning faster. This is wickedness. Why did you shut down Petrotrin? If you claim Petrotrin, we have capacity to refine 160,000 barrels of oil a day, and you see, sometimes it's hard to import or whatever, you use what you have coming out from the ground. We produce minimum 40,000 barrels a day in Trinidad and Tobago, and our usage is and was 25,000 barrels per day.
Can I say something?
Yeah. All the researcher. So understand, so it's corruption, as you say, it's the people, Brother Kenny, and this were the Pitbull, this were real media, this were this team in Trinidad and Tobago come out to do. We lives at risk, really and truly. All of us, with lives at risk, that talking out because they have the money where they can pay rogues
Plain talk, bad man.
simple money, whether it be 2,000, 3,000 TT, 5,000 TT to kill people. Because remember the big business you're talking about. A man ain't gonna let me or many people that advocating for the right thing to happen in Trinidad and Tobago interfere with the millions of dollars. They ain't gonna do that. They're gonna take we out. So you understand? We fighting the unfightable, you know.
Two points. And I'm gonna say this, it might shock the hell out of you to hear me say it like this, but listen to me well. The fool and his money will soon part. The fool and his money will soon part company. Listen to me well. While you were talking about the gas system, sold out your gas thing, and now you have to be buying gas. I remember my mind went back to Jamaica. Jamaica, like many other Caribbean countries, have quite a very robust reserve of farmlands and hell of a lot of farming going on down there. And I remember the days when the Caribbean region normally get all its produce out of Jamaica and other Caribbean countries. Food to stone dog. Jamaica was big on farming and export. I remember the yam export trade. Enough yam leaving Jamaica going all over the Caribbean region and other parts of the Americas. And all of a sudden, I remember one day I went to a supermarket. All of a sudden, I began to see some fluffy tomatoes, fluffy peppers, fluffy cabbage. And then I began to ask questions. They asked me, what happened now? I heard about the free trade agreement. And now because we get things cheap in the Caribbean region, the local farmers were put out of commission because of the free trade agreement. So now you're talking about a system where, because people across the world, across Europe, are able to provide their food at a cheaper cost, the Caribbean region now becomes a dumping ground for the garbage. Pennies to dump the garbage into the Caribbean region. And our people gobble it up like a bunch of crazy people because it comes from foreign. Now, the amount of heart attack and diabetes and bad brain and bad blood and bad crap you have happening in the Caribbean region is enough to drive you nuts. The point is, our prime ministers, leaders across the Caribbean region, have created within the region a cesspool, technically, of dumped products from across America and other parts of the world. They have no regard for the fact that our people need decency, but rather they trade our decency for money. Bauxite, Jamaica could have done for itself way more than buying all of these products from other parts of the world. You sell the bauxite to them and then you go back and buy back the products from. I've never seen such levels of degree of stupidity. But that has been the case, like everything else. So the region now becomes dependent on other people for food and other products, simply because we are too lazy to get up off our lazy rear end and get involved in production, so we can produce the very things we need as a region. Do we have the capacity to do it? Hell yes, we have it. Are we capable of providing the expertise? Yes, we have it. Why is it not happening? A bunch of crazy, cruff, lazy politicians who decide to sell everything we have for $20 as long as it is US dollars. That's all it is. They sell the oil, they sell the food, they sell everything else is sold because of $2 US that they can get to thief and put in their back pocket. That's all it is, you know. And when the day is done, who is responsible for this madness? Your politicians that you vote into office to look after your own business. They are the criminals that have been abrogating the rights of our people. And to date, The lives of many across the Caribbean region is next to a dog kennel, because dogs live better than people in the Caribbean region. In some cases. And when you talk like this, everybody push up mouth on them works because you're not supposed to say it. So, well, tell me something. Do better if you don't want to hear the people talk the raw. Welcome to the raw truth. Welcome.
And at the end of the day, it's the people. The people is to be blamed.
I keep saying it over and over, my brother. Now, while in some cases our people have been ignorant of the fact, which is a fact, our people for the most part have been ignorant. But you see things falling apart and you're not taking any steps to get into, do a little research, get into find out why this happening, why that not happening, how this taste one, that over, how this blue and that red. Ask questions. Connect with people who have knowledge. Come out of the street corner with the little bodies them around there who talking crap, who don't know better than what you know. And find people who have knowledge who can help you to understand it. And when you have connected yourself with people who have common sense, you will become wise as well. Connect with lawyers who know the law, that you can know what the law is to protect yourself. Connect with the right people. When you sit on a back street and chat crap and smoke ganja with them boy around there and sit down chat crap, and when you're drunk you go sleep and you wake up back and you want food, you don't even know how the food because you don't have no job. No, you see, this is the kind of dislocation that we are living technically, and I say all, not all of us, but most of us to date. The dislocation is what has been creating the problem, and we must get to a place where we decide to wake up like a bunch of sane people and do what is right for ourselves to correct the ill now. If that doesn't happen, dog, near we up in the Caribbean region. Remember I tell you.
And you so correct. And if that ain't happening in Trinidad and Tobago, again, Trinidad and Tobago politicians would not respect if it is, as you say, court, because they're going to use we money to tie it up in court for years and all the different things. What they're afraid is bodies, people, seen people. Trinidad and Tobago don't really come out and protest for nothing. The last time we really come out and protest for anything was the black man who died in America with the knee on his chest. I forget his name. Where the police and them kill him.
Yeah.
George Floyd.
George Floyd, yes.
Right. And Trinidad and Tobago people, imagine that. We ain't coming out, they ain't coming out for the high cost of living. They ain't coming out for the advantage that we are being placed on. They ain't coming out against the corrupt politicians and selling out all. They're selling out all with damn assets, all. Just now TNT going and sell. Just now Wassa going and sell. They don't sell out Petrotrin. The port, they're looking to sell the port to the Chinese. Right? They're borrowing millions of dollars in loans and taking things from the Chinese. The procurement legislation that they watered down and got the independent senators to support them with it. That procurement legislation, they take out whereby when it comes to government arrangement, we must know. When it comes to deals with the law with legal fees, we must know. Accounting companies, we must know. What they spend, what they're doing, what's going on, we can know. And we people, including people that's supposed to be independent, Brother Kenny, stand aside and taking all of that. And I supporting my own. So who playing the supporting black? And again, the problem we have is that I'm a black man, and I'm afraid to say I used to support the Black Party too. But the Black Party do not work in the best interest of black people. They work in the best interest of the 1%.
Can I interject here, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
I tell you, the time does fly when you're having fun. 4 minutes to go. But let me say this. I'm going to give you the opportunity to wrap up. But this might be the beginning of our discussions here, because when the day is done, sir, you keep talking about the Black Party and black people and everything black. This perhaps is part of, if not the main part of the problem, because when the day is done, sir, if I should show you, let me see if I could pull it up for you. This is what the etymology dictionary calls black. Old English, absolutely dark, absorbing all the light, color of soot or coal. From Proto-Germanic black, burnt. Let me go down for you. Swedish black, Dutch, boom. The same root produce Old English. Watch this. Black. Fierce. Meaning of black. Fierce. Terrible. Wicked. Without light, moral or spiritual. Gloomy. Unlucky. Bad. Wicked. Malicious. Right? So when you're telling me about them black people, my brother, when you tell me about them black people, it is with a sense of deep concern that I wish we could begin to understand the injustice we're doing ourselves by attracting the energy we have attracted to ourselves over these years. And now it has become a demon that we can't kill. I think the matter of re-education needs to begin so we can reposition our energy to realign ourselves with good, with purpose, with processes that are going to transform our lives as a people if we are to get to a place where we can all rise from the ashes to enjoy what is just and good and right. So we need to continue this discussion. I think, let me welcome you to PSI Network. We will have to continue this at another time, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to close out as you address your people in Trinidad from this platform. Take a few minutes.
Again, to everyone that listening, I understand what Brother Kenny what he's talking about based on how it is people describe black people as gloomy, bad, this, that, and the other. But unfortunately, because of our history, our culture, and the way things are run in Trinidad and Tobago, and we heavily dependent when it coming to our livelihoods on government. Yes, government. Just like how we depends heavily on the government for employment, the private sector is heavily too dependent on government in Trinidad and Tobago. And unfortunately, yes, black is beautiful, black is fearless, black is nice, and all those different things. But the education that we need to know and learn in Trinidad and Tobago especially is that it's the black people is who doing the black people. Straight talk. Everything we gain as black people, we gain it through struggle, fight, and from everyone else. And the institution in which we recognize that's supposed to be the black institution that's supposed to stand up, which we wrong, you know. We recognize a political party. That is where we recognize a political party. That head of it is black and base of it is black. And years upon years, we depending on this black political party to say agakadabra and bring that equity, financial equity and balance in which we all need, to bring that education, which is freedom to all of us. What they have been doing is making things harder, very hard for us when it comes to educating ourselves. Straight up. The curriculum in our schools, especially under our black government, is totally against us. And it's we the people to blame. We is to blame. Because until we get up and understand that we are the government, and the people get a government they deserve, nothing wouldn't change. Until we get that whole issue of race out of our head and understand that we are all Trinidad and Tobagonians, first and foremost. It's not nothing such as African, Indian, Caucasian. Whereas in my book, if you feel you are more Indian, go back India. If you feel you are more African, go back Africa. We are all Trinidad and Tobagonians. And things will never change. And things will keep getting harder if we as a people don't unite and understand that we are the government and put things in place to make sure that we demand what we want from our politicians and stop letting our politicians giving to us what they want to. Until the next time on the Road Truth, thanks very much. In the beginning, we had a whole lot of internet issues, problems, and all those different things. And then to settle and all, settling in and all those different. Next time I'll come plenty more prepared. Thanks very much for the opportunity in giving us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the ears of each and every one of you within the Caribbean on the Road Truth. But Trinidad and Tobago, of all, we are very, very far in reaching that golden apple that we are talking about now. That unity between all Caribbean countries and understanding what it is people are doing to us. We're very, very far compared to the rest of you all. Because of our system and because of the politics, the politicians, race.
I probably would have, if we weren't out of time, I would ask you what in hell CARICOM is doing over there, but that's a whole nother discussion. My brother.
Remember CARICOM is big box too. Remember the big shots is in Trinidad. They have the companies in Guyana. They have the companies in the US Virgin Islands. They have it in Jamaica. They have it all over. And all of them is friends. All of them is friends.
My brother.
I stand firm for really and truly. I still believe in the Privy Council compared to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Yes. Because our Trinidad and Tobagonian politicians knows everyone.
Well, I tell you what, sir. On that note, maybe I need to, kind of close it out, because when the day is done, the whole point is this, my brother. CCJ, whatever the hell it is, the Caribbean is bought. The Caribbean is cheap. The Caribbean is cheap to be bought, and everything here is managed by some guy who sits behind a black screen. Who you're talking about black? That is what they sit on behind the black screen. And pulling the strings and everybody hand going up on the head, them moving, all kind of stupidness going on. And we don't even understand that the whole place is bought and controlled by all the oligarchs across the world. It's disgraceful. My brother, thank you so much for coming on. And of course, we will continue this at some more time. And of course, whatever you do over there, you take care of yourself in Trinidad. Let's keep in touch, because there's a lot more we can do together. Peace. Respect to you.
Thanks very much. Next time we'll be more prepared. Next time everything will be more in order. Thanks.
All is well. All right, so that's our good friend, Mr. Andy Williams, and of course, he's coming to us live out of Trinidad and Tobago. Quite a very interesting presentation. I think it's necessary for us across the region to understand exactly what is going on in our neck of the woods across the region. And when the day is done, the question now is, what can we do to fix this mess as it continues to mess up the lives of our people, abrogate the laws of our Aborigines people, and create more poverty as the guys who you put in office to manage your affairs aren't really there to manage your affairs, but to make sure that the corporation has money to stuff its back pocket and use your energy to put wealth in their pocket. And that is what I'm seeing across the region. Guyana, classic example. Trinidad, I'm surprised actually that Trinidad has come to this. You're talking about St. Vincent. I've been watching them as well. Jamaica seem to be on the tail end, watching them as well. And once the region continues to become a compromised place where the people's rights are not regarded or respected, then we are in a serious state of affair where only the people can fix it. Can I say that again? Only the people can fix it. Not the politician, not the member of government, not your prime minister, but you, the people, are the only ones who are going to fix this mess. Learn that fast. Educate yourselves as to what the resolve is, and get up like people with a purpose and fix it. We thank you all for joining us. I think we have said enough tonight. Peace to all of you, wherever you are. Every Monday evening, we come for another episode of The Raw Truth. If you're not a member of the PSI Network on Facebook, please go to PSI TV on Facebook and like the page. Or if you're watching us from YouTube, or you prefer to watch from YouTube, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to the page. Click the notification bell, that whenever we send out our notifications, you will get your update. Peace to all of you, and whatever you do, take care of yourselves. Do not allow yourselves to be abrogated, your rights to be abrogated by those who wish to exploit you, but rather stand for that which is just and right. Because if you stand for nothing, you will have nothing, get nothing, and become nothing. But if you stand for that which is just and right, the exact same you will have. Peace. All the best to all of you. We catch up next Monday.
You have been watching the latest development, and you seem to be very unsure of what to do next. You know something is about to happen, but again, you simply keep watching without a clue as to what to do next. Wake up, my brothers and sisters. You must move now to save yourselves. You must move now to prepare yourselves for the peril ahead. To delay is to open yourself to serious trouble, and there will be no one to blame but you. Lifeline Financial Programs has always been telling you that things will get very serious very quickly if you do not move now to prepare for what is coming. Nothing will get better. We are on a downhill ride. You must get up and move now to save yourself. It is predicted that you will be having serious financial problems soon. Will you sit and wait until everything has crashed then say, "If I had known"? Find us today at Lifeline Financial Programs. We have the best plans to keep you alive during the trying times ahead. Mark my word. You will remember every word I say. Don't wait until everything has fallen apart and you are running around like a chicken without a head. Find us at Lifeline Financial Programs today. We will help you find a way. Call us at 540-4555 or email us at lifelinebvlimited@gmail.com.
Lifeline Financial Programs, the gateway to a better future.